With this Dust in the Wind guitar lesson, we'll show you how to play the complete song for a one-person performance. We'll cover each section with the step-by-step approach. And once you have all the sections down, you can then practice the complete arrangement along with the Dust in the Wind guitar backing track and karaoke video. Let's get started with the first step in learning Dust in the Wind, and that is learning the fingerstyle pattern. And we're going to start with a regular C chord. And the fingerstyle pattern, I'll give a quick preview and then we'll break it down. Here's how it's going to sound. And what that involves is the very first thing we do is we pinch the 2 and the 5 strings together. And I would consider those to be the outside strings of this C chord because we're not playing the 1 or the 6. So keep in mind these are the outside strings. And then what follows is a single note pattern of inside, outside, inside. Plucking the middle strings here, the 4 and the 3, then the 5 and 2, then back to the 4 and 3. Inside, outside, inside. Or if we count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Inside, outside, inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Simply throw the pinch chord before that. So what we're going to do is now play this fingerstyle pattern 4 consecutive times just to get acclimated to it. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Once you can do that, we're ready to go to the intro section. The intro section has 16 total measures, and we're going to focus on 4 measures at a time, starting with the C chord here. And how we're going to go about this is we focus on the actual chord shapes first, and then we apply the fingerstyle pattern second. So the first chord shape will be a regular C, and then we go to a C major 7th, which is just lifting the first finger off the 2nd string. Then you put the pinky down, the 4th finger, on the 2nd string 3rd fret. That's a C add 9 chord. And then we're going to return back to the C chord, the initial C chord shape for the 4th measure. So there's only 3 chord shapes for 4 measures. C, C major 7th, C add 9, C. And now we go through this progression, we apply the fingerstyle pattern. So here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. You can keep your hand down. We'll do it one more time just to get the hang of it. Ready, set, go. For the next 4 chord sequence, we're going to shift to what is essentially an A minor chord shape, except we're going to have the first finger lifted off to start this sequence, and that is the A sus2 chord. Again, the only notes that are going to change in this sequence will be on the 2nd string, so we're going to keep the middle and the 3rd finger anchored. There's A sus2. Pinky goes down on the 2nd string 3rd fret. That's A sus4. Then 1st fret, a regular A minor, ending with returning to A sus2. So let's apply the fingerstyle pattern now to that 4 chord sequence. 1, 2, ready, go. So let's go back down to the beginning where we'll connect the 4 chords based off the C chord shape to the 4 chords we just did. So from the top of the intro, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. For the next 4 chords, we return back to the C shape, but this time we're going to begin this 4-chord sequence with the 4th pinky finger down, which was the C add 9 chord that we played previously. And with this sequence, we start with the 3rd fret, C add 9, then a regular C, 1st fret. What I mean by frets is the 2nd string note that's going to change. So C add 9, 3rd fret, C 1st fret, C major 7th open, back to C add 9. Here's how that's going to sound with the fingerstyle. For the final 4 chords of the intro, we're going to go back to the A minor shape, and this time it'll be the standard A minor chord with the 1st finger on the 2nd string 1st fret. That sequence will be A minor, A sus2, A sus4, and then back to A minor. Now there's a variation we do on the 16th measure, that final measure that begins with the A minor chord. We're only going to play a portion of the fingerstyle pattern. So just that for the final A minor, and then we're going to do a lead-in, what I call a lead-in into the verse, which will be staying on the A minor chord but doing a pinch, A minor, and then going to a G-B chord shape, which is just 2 fingers down. And again, we just emphasize those 2 beats that lead in to the verse section. I'll back it up a little bit before we play the last 4. Let's just review that last measure, the A minor, which will be and then. So let's back it up a bit to the final 4 chord sequence, starting with A minor. So with that, let's review the complete intro, all 16 measures. We'll do a slow walkthrough, and here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. The verse section is another 16 measures to memorize, but it's essentially 8 measures that repeat with a slight variation, so it's not too challenging. And we're going to start with the first 4-chord sequence, which will be C, G/B, and then A minor, but we're going to include the 1 string, the top string. For the first time in the song, we're going to play the top string. And how that would sound with the fingerstyle, which we're going to put it all together with the fingerstyle shortly, but for the fingerstyle approach, and you can use your middle finger. Usually, standard fingerstyle technique, you use the 3rd. Might actually make it easier since we're focusing on just these 2 fingers for most of the song. You can cheat a little bit and use the middle finger to pluck the top string. So that A minor measure with the top string, fingerstyle, sound like that. And then the final A minor chord, the 4th chord in the sequence, is an A minor with just the middle 4 strings. And it'll sound like that. So let's put the 4 chords together with the fingerstyle approach. C, G, B, and then 2 A minors. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. The next 4 chords will be G, but we're going to use the 4th pinky finger to to fret the 1 string for this G chord shape. And the reason being, the next chord, D minor 7th, the transition, if you use the 4th pinky finger, the hand remains steady in a position. If you use the regular G, it'll be a little more finger movement, slows down the transition. In fact, I think this transition is the toughest or most challenging transition in the whole song, from G to D minor 7th. And then we have A minor again, and then there'll be, for the 4th measure, we're going to split it between an A minor and a G B. It'll be a 2-note sort of lead-in. Let's hear how this sounds with the fingerstyle approach. And if you're looking at the tab, you may see on the G that they're showing to play the 2nd string open. And that's actually what the guitarists do on the original recording. However, I'm going to suggest to play this G pitch because most of you will not be singing Dust in the Wind. You'll simply be playing an unaccompanied guitar performance. And this note, the top string 3rd fret, actually matches the pitch of the vocals with the only. So only, you want to hit that note. It just simply sounds more like the song, especially if you're playing without vocals. So here we go with the fingerstyle approach with the G, D minor 7th, A minor, and then A minor and G/B. Here's how it's going to sound. And then for the D minor 7th, you can also use the thumb to pluck the 3rd string. And then the A minor. Just a portion of that, and then that 2-beat lead-in, just like we did to end the intro to lead into the verse. Let's do that one more time, starting with the G. So let's go back to the beginning of the verse. We'll put together the first 8 measures, starting with the C. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. The next 8 measures of the verse essentially repeat the first 8 except for the ending, where we're going to not do the lead-in. We're instead going to stay on the 2 A minors. We're going to play the top string A minor and the 2nd string A minor. And that'll lead directly into the chorus. So here's how the second half of the verse will sound with the 8 measures. C, G, B, A minor, then the other A minor, G, D minor 7th, top string A minor, 2nd string A minor. And that'll lead into the first chorus. For the chorus, we have 8 sections, and the first 4-chord sequence will be a D/F sharp chord. It's a portion of a D with an F sharp bass note. Then a G without fretting the top string. We don't play the top string, so we only got to use 2 fingers to fret this G shape. Then a regular A minor, and then an A minor 7th/G. For the transition from A minor to A minor 7/G, you simply lift the 3rd finger, and that will fret the bass note, bottom string 3rd fret. D/F sharp, G, A minor 7/G. So let's do a slow walkthrough of the fingerstyle pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Then the next sequence will repeat the D/F sharp again, G again, and then when we get to the A minor, we're going to throw in a variation. We're going to hammer the 2nd string. The fingerstyle pattern it's going to stop there, and we're going to go to a GB, somewhat similar to the intro where we do that 2-beat lead into the first verse. What we're going to do here is after the final A minor, I'm going to back up to the hammer. And you're sort of emphasizing just that one beat, that one count for the G/B chord. So let's put together the complete course. We'll do a slow walkthrough to hear how it sounds with everything put together. So here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Before going to the next section, it's a good idea to set a foundation by working on a basic arrangement of the song. And that is putting together everything we've learned so far and playing them in chronological order. That'll be the intro, followed by verse 1, followed by the first chorus. You'll find that as the song progresses, we're going to add just slight variations to this basic arrangement. So if you get this foundation down, it'll make learning the rest of the song a lot easier. For verse 2, you're going to play the same guitar arrangement as verse 1, just have different lyrics. And for the second chorus, that is essentially the same, except we're only going to play the first 6 sections before going into the bridge section. So we're going to delete that final A minor section along with the GB. Here's how it's going to sound. This is going to be the second chorus. Let's just do a quick walkthrough of that with the fingerstyle. 1, 2, ready, go. And that will lead into the next section, which is the bridge section. For the bridge, we have 4 sections using 4 different chord shapes. And these are unique sounding chords. They have complex names, but they're relatively easy to play. They're simple chord shapes. So to make it easier to learn and to explain, we're going to focus just on the chord shapes. And here's what I mean. The first chord, the third finger is going on the 4th string 7th fret, first finger on the 3rd string 5th fret. We focus just on the middle 4 strings. Again, we're going to strum through to start to hear how the chords sound. For the second chord, we just invert the chord shape. The fingers switch strings like so. That's section 2. Section 3, we take the same shape, move down 2 frets. Then section 4, from this chord shape, we're going to partially bar the first finger across the 2, 3, and 4 strings. And then that's only for half of section 4. The other half, we go back to the chord shape from section 3 to complete section 4. So section 4 is split into 2 parts. So let's see how this sounds applying the fingerstyle pattern. Now the fingerstyle pattern will be played twice for each chord. So here we go from the top with the bridge. 1, 2, ready, go. Now in the original recording, after the first bridge, the violin solo begins. And while the violin solo is played, the bridge is played another 2 times, followed by the intro. So regarding this section of the song, a good thing to rehearse will be to play the bridge 3 consecutive times, just like it's played in the song, and then connect that to the intro. That's another way of setting a foundation with the basic arrangement that makes it easier to put the whole song together later on. After the violin solo, we go into another verse section, and then we go to the song's final chorus. And this chorus has a variation. It's played with the same 4-chord sequence that we did for previous choruses, but we play this 4-chord sequence 3.5 total times. And why I'm emphasizing that is at this point is when the vocals start to have a call and response thing going, and that can throw you off initially as a guitarist. So if you just think, repeat that 4-chord sequence 3.5 times, and then the song goes into the coda section. So I'm going to back it up to what I consider that sort of half progression, which will be starting with the D / F sharp to the G. All we are is dust in the, and then for the coda, wind, we go to an A minor chord, and then we revert back to what we did in the song's intro with the line on the 2nd string. So from that A minor chord, and you stay on the same chord shape. Now this is repeated, the song fades out on the original recording. So when you're playing live, you need to think of an ending. So a suggested ending would be play whatever is comfortable. There's going to be sort of scat singing going on during the coda. But when you feel like wrapping it up, when you're doing this cycle, when you end up back on the normal A minor chord shape, simply stay on it. Maybe 3 measures of that and end with a sustained strum on the A minor chord, and that's a suggested ending for when you play this live. Once you have all the sections memorized, the next step is to put together a complete arrangement or performance of the song. And for those of you that are going to be singing along with playing guitar, you have an additional challenge of syncing the lyrics with the chord changes. And you can practice both along with my Dust in the Wind backing track karaoke video, which features both the lyrics as well as the chords. So you can either sing along with the Dust in the Wind karaoke, play guitar with the Dust in the Wind karaoke, or do both.